extreme which goes away from monotheism, from the belief in one God, and takes you into another religion. And so when the Church of England imposed this harsh penalty upon people who practice Christmas, they moved it to New Year's Eve. Now, New Year's Eve historically in the North was known as Hogmanay. Originally, the New Year for the Romans was March 1st. That was the New Year, not January 1st. So all of you who are on January 1st, where was I on January 1st? You're waiting for the light to go up in Times Square. The reality is, for the Romans, March 1st was the beginning of the year. And when you look at the number 7 in Latin, you find Septem. So September was the 7th month, October, November, December. And so you find that the Latin words for these last months, October, November, December, 8, 9, and 10. So these weren't the last months of the year. It was 8, 9, and 10. And so what actually happened was, when they imposed the New Year on January, it is for the ancient god, or their so-called god called Janus, the two-faced god, 2 faces, who shows you one face and behind it is another face, the master hypocrite. And so this is what is going on at this occasion. And we find now that on January 1st, right on that evening, December 31st, when it changes, you find people are usually drinking. They're involved in some sexual activity at that time. The whole concept of Jesus and monotheism is lost. It is the other religion. What is also interesting for us to remember is that after January, in February, that somewhere around the middle of February, there was a celebration that was known by the ancient Romans as the Lupercalia. And the Lupercalia was a ceremony, and luper means wolf. And they depicted a wolf chasing a little girl. And so they had a ceremony. I'm not making this up, by the way, right? If you want to, you can look this up. If you don't believe me, go to the encyclopedia right after we're finished. A children's encyclopedia. Look up Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas, and Halloween, and you'll find everything I'm talking about. Okay? You want to go deeper into it, go on the internet. Okay? And you look up the pagan roots of all of these holidays. And so, the Lupercalia was the celebration of the wolf. And the authorities there would gather together young people, and they would put their names into a box, men and women, and they would take out the names, and whoever was your partner, whoever you picked, whatever name you picked, was your partner for the day, and all types of sexual activity went on during that day. They were totally out of control. That is the Lupercalia. That's what it really means. Okay? Now, around February 14th, around 270 AD of the Christian era, a bishop by the name of Valentine, he was trying to work with the Roman soldiers because the Roman emperor had imposed upon his soldiers that anybody who joined the army could not get married. Because if you got married, you're thinking about your wife all the time, and you're a useless soldier. But the soldiers wanted to get married, so St. Valentine worked with them, and he was captured by the Roman emperor, he was imprisoned, and he was beheaded. And so a legend formed around St. Valentine's Day. In one case, it said he even helped a blind young girl. He was trying to help her get married. And so she wrote a note, and it was found in his jail cell, "To my Valentine." And so from that date, somebody making that compromise brought together the two streams. And so now you have Valentine's Day. So on that occasion, and it's in the school system, if Muslims are sending their children to school, you got a problem on Valentine's Day. Because they make them do Valentine's cards. In some cases, it becomes mandatory in some classes. Now they even have in Canada, I don't know about here, you can buy a Valentine's Day card. Somebody will come and sing, or somebody will bring food, and they make it very lavish. And so what happens is young people are forced together on that occasion. And for those who are part of the monotheistic tradition, who understand that the relationship between men and women should be done in a sacred way within marriage and not in a loose way before marriage. And we see what is happening in the society itself. We see what has happened to the standards, even in the White House. So we understand what is going on in the society. That's because people have lost their limits, the hudud. The limits have been broken up. And so those who are maintaining the limits in the monotheistic religions and in those people of consciousness recognize that St. Valentine's Day is really part of a pagan holiday where people are carrying out the so-called wishes of Venus or Aphrodite, their little son called Cupid. And he shoots you with an arrow. You know that story? He shoots you with an arrow and you fall hopelessly in love. And some Muslims say, I want to get married, I'm in love. You're in love? What is love, man? There is kafa'ah. In fiqh there is kafa'ah, suitability. Yes, there should be an attraction between husband and wife. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, spoke about the beauty, about wealth, about genealogy, right, nasab, and about deen. And he said, marry people for their religion, for their deen, their taqwa. That is the basis of the marriage. And so, St. Valentine's Day is another time that we have to take a stand. And we'll have a question and answer period at the end. But the position we are taking is the young people should have nothing to do with Valentine's Day. You have to step out of that completely.